Hello? Hello, Bryan?
Yeah, just a minute. Hey, listen, sorry, I don't have a lot of time. It's Bryan from This, That, and the Other. Look, okay, I want to tell you everything. I want to tell you the truth about wood. You want to know about the real stuff? You want to know why the earth is hollow and why we're being run by aliens? You want to know about the stuff they're putting in your Gatorade and why you should be eating your dogs and why renewable resources are a lie and we're living inside of a hologram. And I'll tell you all this, but you have to listen to This, That, and the Other. You have to subscribe on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher. Don't tell Sam though. Don't tell him.
Ryan, what are you doing? Are you making an ad without me?
No, listen, I gotta go. Subscribe to This, That, and the Other.
You bastard.
9/11 was a lie. What happened to buildings?
You tuned in to the motherfucking dopest over here on What's Hood, that's it. Yo, welcome back to another Goodnight Food Productions here on the Binge on this network, home to the classics such as Happy News with Perry Kurtz, Olden Time TV, Sam of All Trade, the upcoming Reading Ronin with the homie Bryan, the upcoming Universal Dreams with Shanice Nice, What's Hood with me, FC Dog, Forever Cabron on the microphone, and of course the flagship This, That, and the Other with the homies Bryan and Sam, dog. Thank you for liking, subscribing, leaving a review, rating us, letting us know what's hood, dog, on the social media tip. We appreciate you. We're humbled by you, and thank you for listening. Let's get in with the shits, dog. This is episode, I want to call it the big 1-5, homie. Almost getting to 20, dog. I'm pretty hype. I'm not going to lie. I got a couple of things lined up, coming when I get home and whatnot. But just to get into what I've been getting into, dog, I've been doing a lot of research, honestly, as I, job hunt still and try to get my situation situated. But I've been thinking a lot about, because as I'm moving the internet space again, I'm just finding certain things to be kind of interesting, you feel me? Today's topic or conversation is probably going to be about privacy 9 times out of 10, my boy. And privacy is one of those things that I feel like people don't value anymore, you feel me? You out there giving out your location, letting know people where you're at, this and that, blah, blah, blah. I'm trying to, like I said on the previous podcast, I got other plans for this, I got big plans, you feel me? So I started making out new emails. I started looking at, creating new accounts just so I can, separate my personal from, let's call it business, you feel me? Or building a well, as I like to call it. I was signing up on Google and whatnot, and then I signed on Instagram again, you feel me? Again, trying to separate things. And just the fact that, Instagram will automatically block your email if it's not in use or whatnot, or the fact that now that you open up to require an email address, you require a phone number, and that to me is mad not dope, dog. It's one of those things in which it's an invasion of privacy to me. Like, these internet companies make a buck gathering and collecting our data, our information, and then selling it to the highest bidder. And if you don't follow up on any of that, I recommend looking into it. You gotta start to disconnect bit by bit, you feel me? I'm one of those lucky individuals that has never trusted the internet. Now, that's not to say that there isn't no shadow profiles of me out there. And mind you, that's where the conspiracies and deep states and just, malicious intent come into play. If you guys follow and read the news, a lot of social media sites, aka Twitter, Facebook, Reddit, other sites where minds come together and whatnot, you can find the negativity in humanity. Like, mind you, I said it again, and I'll say it once and I'll say it again, as like the saying goes. We're in an age of communication, so the way we communicate is very crucial, you feel me? The way we are able to break dialogue with one another is critical. If you don't like what someone has to say or something someone has said, dog, you're free to debate it, have a conversation about it. But the thing that you should always be mindful is that you shouldn't commit to proving people wrong, you feel me? All you can do is present a different point of view, present a different way of thinking. So when people get into these arguments, a lot of the conversation gets lost about being right and wrong, you feel me? Ego's always going to make you speak out or whatnot, but it's just one of those things where if you see an injustice, if something bothers you, you should be okay to say something back, you feel me? But as I was applying to all of these things and just noticing how they want to attach phone numbers to shit, this and that. Like, I remember once upon a time, dog, that wasn't a thing. You can have 3 or 4, 5, 6, 7 different email addresses for all types of different things. And I get, online shipping, online buying, online bill paying, online this, online that. Like, yeah, to a degree it makes sense, but to another it really fucking doesn't, because None of these companies should be holding on to your information like that, you feel me? And mind you, that's just an individual's perspective. Privacy is a big thing, and the more the less privacy you have, the more paranoid you become, I want to say, because you can't no longer function in the peace of mind that it's a personal endeavor anymore, you feel me? When you have out there people clocking your everyday move, what you doing, where you at, this and that, blah, blah. Like, I'm not gonna lie, the first time Snapchat introduced, location sharing, that shit boggled my mind, dog. I saw a lot of people out there that don't like a compa, and it's all like, my boy. Once again, rules of life, homie, robbery is free. But that's only because, I come from a negative part in life, you feel me? For in case those of you don't know, it's the phrase is on the other side of the tracks, you feel me? I come from the other side of I just come from the other side. So when it comes to dealing with individuals that want to talk rough, want to talk out their neck, and I just find it funny that on Instagram, social media, stuff like that, like people really think that they can hide behind the buffer and that they won't ever be touched, you feel me? And yeah, 9 times out of 10, you're 100% correct. But if you like the same things as the quote-unquote enemies you got, if you like the same thing as people that you don't like, dog, you're going to run into them, you feel me? And the block feature is another thing that I find kind of funny, too, you know what I'm saying? Like, people give way too much credence to words that are spewed out there in the anonymity of the internet. And people want to claim that, we live in an enlightened time, that we should be above XYZ, and mind you, with the advent of the internet, with the communication being on the forefront, conversations like gaslighting, manipulation of things, you're able to see just how people are getting robbed and moved and juked from, you feel me? You got politicians out there that will lie to your face just because they think you don't have the facts, and the moment you present them with something, they're still gonna try to lie to your face, you know what I'm saying? You got individuals that have never used a walking frame or whatever, going to court trying to juke the judge, you feel me? A year ago you were out there walking fine and dandy, but it's just those things, dog, that the older generation, and mind you, some of people in my age group that are in their early 30s, late 20s, fall into those kind of things, you feel me? Sometimes people don't look any deeper than the headlines. Sometimes people don't look any deeper than the clickbait. But you can't take things at face value sometimes. You feel me? You got to look deeper. But for some shit out there, like, the obvious or subtle racism that you may notice or not notice. Like, don't give racist please, dog. But that's a whole other conversation. You feel me? But going back to the idea of privacy, is just interesting to me how, like, in the early 2000s to the late 2010s, privacy has reached a whole different ballpark, you feel me? The introduction of ad dollars to the internet space, to giving people, money for gathering views, because at the end of the day, television is a dying system or way of broadcasting things, you feel me? You got people like Alex Jones that made millions of dollars selling nonsense supplements that don't do you any good. You got other supplement companies that popped off like Quest Nutrition and this and that. And in those senses, in those things, it makes sense to be hired by individuals. But these companies, they don't hire you; they'll pay you, and they'll fire you whenever. The conversation, if you listen to Joe Rogan or Twitter or what have you, deplatforming, silencing a voice. But like I said before, and I'll say it again, in the age of communication, you're free to make a podcast. You're free to challenge the views and roads of others, you feel me? Now, everyone trying to get into podcasting, making a quick buck, that's a different discussion. Because getting docs, getting DDoS or whatever you want to call it, like that whole system of trying to find out who you are, where you live with death threats, dog, y'all reaching. I'm the type of believer that if you're going to flash me a gun, dog, I know you're not going to shoot. And mind you, that's not to say they will or they won't, but I'm not here to jump, dog. If you're going to pull a trigger on a compa, pull it and do it with extreme prejudice. Because believe me, dog, we ain't done there. But yeah, no, dog, privacy has been a thing that's been slowly been trying, like there's a movement within the internet trying to eradicate that, you feel me? I know people that are Trump supporters that don't believe the Russia thing, because at the end of the day, people are free to believe what they want. But when they're over there digesting, stupid information, when they're out there just you like obvious lies that you have to think critically for. You feel me? We live in an era where people wanna people wanna be lied to, whether you wanna believe it to or not. You feel me? Certain different markets making mad amounts of dollars, trying to find a way left or right. Like, I find it hilarious that people want to be like Gary Vee and find motivational speaking or life coaching a thing, when at the end of the day, these individuals just made a buck off the internet. Again, that's a whole other conversation. But yeah, touching back on privacy, dog, like, I've always entered the internet space with a weary eyebrow. I'm not going to lie. It's just one of those things in which I've known for a long time that motherfuckers are vicious. You feel me? I've been to chat rooms. I've seen them fuck up, give out viruses and whatnot. And mind you, the vocal few in the world that out there that do the most with the least, they're a rare. They're a select few bunch, you feel me? It's not like everyone can do everything. And mind you, I may be wrong about that shit too, but in the grand scheme of things, your privacy, it's one of those things that should be valued above any and all things. The reason people get doxxed, the reason people get this and that is through IP addresses and proxies and what have you. And again, that's because of lack of respect of privacy. You feel me? Internet companies should be trying to mask IP address and doxing information and shit like that. But the more the world gets into the digital data age, the more the world tries to become unified under that philosophy. It is like the idea of your privacy is limited. What's that internet joke? When I die, delete my browsing history. But that's because, again, privacy is the thing, you feel me? Like, there's a show, again, I'm going to reference again, called Exponiendo Infieles, and over there, they just, you let someone look through your phone, and people have conditioned themselves to be a certain way when it comes to that. And it's pretty interesting to me, you feel me? At the end of the day, when it comes to privacy, like, you have to be actively aware of the information you give and or put out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, when it comes to the movement, to Latino culture and the whole nine, like, that's something that's also not paid attention to. You feel me? Everybody wants to make a name for themselves. Everyone thinks that's the move and that's the come up, which is like, I mean, I get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, create a name, but there is a limit to privacy. There is a limit to you turning off and dealing with your personal life at the end of the day. And when it comes down to that, that is a truly personal endeavor, you feel me? Y'all motherfuckers gotta be aware. Pónganse las pilas, get listos, you feel me? It's interesting that in places like Mexico, Central America, India, third world countries, Facebook becomes the internet, WhatsApp becomes the means of communication, and people forget that all of this information is being hoarded by companies, you feel me? That at the end of the day should really be deleting messages every 6 to 8 months maybe. And that's because, again, the idea of privacy. Like, what are these companies banking on? What is this information being held and recorded for? You feel me? All of these servers and filled with data and shit like that, dog. Like, you shouldn't put so much emphasis on the internet space. You feel me? It's one of those things where I see them trying to confuse Latinos, you feel me? I've been to public service offices where social workers work at, welfare offices, the whole nine, and they're over there yelling at the older generation, like, oh, you need to have the internet, tienes que tener esto y acá, and you can't, like, dog, no. Understand that there are people to this very day in the world that can't write or spell their name. There is shit like that is crucial and true, you feel me? In my community, in my environment, dog, I saw a lot of Latinos, Mesoamerican descendants struggling with the paperwork, you feel me? Struggling for us to get put in a system so that way they could track us, dog, and that's a violation of privacy. But we do it because we don't want to get sent to jail. We do it because we don't want to get fined. We do it because we don't, like, there is so much out there, you feel me? And the fact that cops want to use facial recognition technology, the fact that, facial recognition technology fails, like, there is just so much misinformation out there, you feel me? As well, at the same time as, taking information too. Case in point, stealing credit card numbers, that whole tax fraud come up, you feel me? Like, there's a lot out there, you know what I'm saying? But people aren't aware, and people don't take care, and people don't really connect the dots, ¿me entienden? And it's just when it comes to all of those conversations, the compa just, pulls back a lot. And I wonder what the ultimate come up is, you feel me? If you're listening to areas such as, Georgia or whatever, they're trying to remove 300,000 voting individuals, you feel me? And that's again because lack of privacy. These people bought out this information, they hold this and that. And mind you, that's now how gerrymandering works. You flood in with information, you get this data, and then with that data you manipulate it, you move it around, you feel me? And the fact that politicians are bought and paid for by corporations, it is a problem, you feel me? That's the byproduct of capitalism too, you feel me? When you keep everything in the private sector and expect, certain companies to get certain deals, like that's the added institution of racism, you feel me? When only certain individuals are allowed behind closed doors or certain doors, like you're gonna get limited. And mind you, these corporations don't include, the Latinos, the blacks, the poor community. They don't even deal with people in the ghetto cells, you feel me? They don't do nothing for the social economic anything, and then they collect all of this fucking revenue, and what the fuck do they do with it, dog? They give themselves mad pats on the back while selling us out. And those are situations where people gotta really wise up to, you feel me? Because your idea of privacy, it not only goes to you, but it goes for your kids. It goes for your older parents, the next generation. You get what I'm saying? Some things make it easier, dog. I trip the fuck out when my phone tries to go like, nah, dog, I'm gonna fix these settings. I'm gonna get it the way I want. Don't you ever like. And I get it though. It's supposed to make your life easier. It's supposed to make your life, a lot more whatever, but it's like, nah, dog, that's you're falling into structures that are designed to manipulate and extort. And if you don't believe me, look at people in YouTube that have created content and made that thing a profitable business for Google more than their own fucking website. You get what I'm saying? And that's always been an issue, you know what I'm saying? And as we move forward with these elected officials that want to protect criminals, you're gonna lose more rights bit by bit. They're gonna get eroded. A lot of people forget that after 9/11, the Patriot Act was designed to completely strip citizens of their rights. And whether you agree with that sentiment or not, look how far we've come in the last 18 years since it happened. You got motherfuckers out here committing terrorist acts, terrorist threats with manifestos online and this and that and blah, blah, blah. And everything is so coordinated and functioning. Like, you forget that the oppression of people is still there. These news corporations are gonna violate your privacy and make killers famous and make victims, doubt their own sanity. The whole Sandy Hook situation with Alex Jones, the whole nine, you get what I'm saying? I'm going to end the conversation here, log. I don't want to get too deep with it. I know I probably hopped all over the place, but I do want you to, be aware of your privacy, dog. Don't let your number out to nobody. Turn off your location. Turn off location services. You feel me? Turn them on when you need them. But don't ever trust these companies, dog, and don't ever send them your ID, because again, that shit's bought and paid for. All right, locals, you guys stay up, stay blessed, stay looked out, and I will catch you on the next one.